I live in a new country every month, and I've been doing so for the past 4 months. I've been to 10 countries this year. I'm currently in Shanghai, in China, and here is what it taught me, how it changed me, and what it forced me to learn. First of all, the biggest conclusion that I made over the past 4 months is that people are always trying to map you somehow and to pin you to a certain concept or idea that they have in their mind. So whenever I say that I'm digital nomading right now and changing countries and just looking for my place on the planet and discovering various cities and locations, people ask me why not like why I'm doing this, but like what place I'm looking for and where am I planning to land. The question of where I'm planning to settle is always present in these conversations. So people don't probably understand how digital nomading works, like this kind of frequent digital nomading, and they want to pin you to a certain country, like you're trying to relocate or to move to a certain country, and they want to understand you through this lens. But it's not always the case because I myself don't know where I'm gonna land. I'm looking for this place. I am maybe I will continue traveling like that, maybe with a kind of maybe with longer stays, but who knows? It is a lifestyle by itself. Some people travel for their whole life and they never settle. So you should be accepting that. Maybe people do, but I need those that are used to living in a stable location. Some other more obvious things that happened to me, these are not like conclusions, but like changes that I noticed, are that first, I am very easy with problem solving. I recently been with a couple of 20-year-olds who like people who are about my age. They are also Gen Zs, and we were handling some problems, and I realized that I do it a lot faster. You know, like when you live and you travel, when you live alone, you never see how other people function and what is normal, what is like a baseline level of problem solving or of analytical thinking or something. And yeah, when I encountered these other 20-year-olds, other people in their 20s, I realized that, yeah, I do it a lot faster, and it is due to my traveling lifestyle because I had to understand, for example, how to do public transport here, how to order taxi, how to find some groceries, how to find a restaurant at a certain place, anything, how to find a sports club. I need to figure out so many things on such a regular basis so often that it's not a problem for me anymore. I just think a little bit faster and it doesn't stumble me at all. So yeah, just solve problems faster. And the second thing here is that I'm just always grounded because something can happen all the time and something does happen all the time. So why even worry about things if you can just resolve the situation, the issue, and go further, go on. Yeah, the digital nomading lifestyle made me a lot more grounded and calm, and I'm very grateful for that as well. The fourth point of my video podcast is that, yeah, it's just a conclusion. You know, I did a mix up of the ideas that I had. So this one is just, I don't know, a statement is that life life is similar and is the same everywhere. You know, I've never been to Asia myself. I'm now traveling solo in Asian countries. I've been to Thailand, I've been to China, and then I'm going to Indonesia. And I thought that it's a different planet or something, that people live differently. They just function differently. I don't know. I had certain memories from my childhood, again from Bangkok, from islands in Thailand, and I thought that I felt so many different sensory feelings in my childhood that I thought that it's like a completely different thing. I don't know, that everything smells different, everything looks different, and I wasn't ready. I was extremely scared to go to Asia after living for like more than 20 years in Europe. It was extremely scary to me. It was an unexpected thing. I didn't know what I will experience there. But when I arrived, like within an hour, I went from extreme fear to comfort because I realized that everything is the same everywhere. People go buy groceries, people go for work. Maybe the type of work is different in various places, but they do their jobs. They just talk to each other, they meet for coffees, they do sports, they walk the streets, they take some transport, and it's just all the same. The concept is the same everywhere, and it's not another planet. That's my main conclusion. Because yeah, the world maybe it's very different and diverse and interesting and ranging, but like the concept of life is the same. And it's very grounding as well, because yeah, you just live everywhere. You can live everywhere and do your stuff and adapt and enjoy your life. Point number 5 is that now I know and I've learned how to build a community fast. And I can give you a life hack. Don't go to communities or clubs, social clubs that are organized around nothing, that are just like coffee clubs that meet for brunches and talk. This usually doesn't have a very high success rate in terms of building connections or friendships or just having nice conversations, because you don't have a purpose in meeting those people. You're not united by anything. There's no filter or something. So if you go there, you have very high chances of not enjoying the conversation. From my personal experience, maybe some people have different and like very positive ones. But if you go to a tennis club, sports club, I don't know, games club, anything like that, if you have a common idea behind meeting these people, it's a win-win, because you will most likely filter out those people that are not particularly interesting to you, and there will be just at least some kind of a filter, a uniting criteria. And second, you will at least enjoy the hobby that you did. So the life hack is just to find or practice the hobby that is connected to communicating to other people, and just go do that in every country where you are traveling to. So to me, it's running. People do meet in running clubs to socialize, and they do go for coffees or brunches or beers afterwards. But the primary idea is running still. You do some sports, and at least you end up doing some physical activity, even if you don't meet anybody there and don't make a connection. At least you did some sports, and that's a win-win. And if you do meet another person, anyone who you like and who you have a sparkling conversation with, then yeah, again, you get a friend or acquaintance or something. Next point is that, yeah, now I realize, now I know that processing new things, novel things, is just a skill. I hear lots of people who move to a new country or start traveling for extended periods of time, they always guilt themselves for not being productive on week one after moving somewhere, or for being depressed for several months. I'm not a psychologist or anything, I don't have any psychological education, but from my personal experience, I can say that processing things is a mental work, and you can't expect yourself to be perfectly organized and have a structured life after moving to a new place which you've never been to. It's like, I have this analogy, like if you take an animal that lived in a certain ecosystem and you move them to an extremely different ecosystem, how can you expect them to perform and to live comfortably? They will be shocked and they will be stressed, and you're expecting this from yourself. You shouldn't be doing that. You need to give yourself time to adapt to the new ecosystem, to the new settings, environment that you got into. And yeah, don't be scary that every time you travel to a new country, for example, if you travel every month or so, or every half a year, you will be adapting for the same long period and you will be depressed every time and you will have no energy. That's not the case. Again, adapting and processing things is a skill. So as I understand, as I experience it myself, nervous system remembers how to adapt to stress, and next time you encounter the same problem, the same issue with trying to live in a new space, it will be easier for you. So the more you do it, the easier it turns, and you just need to practice. Again, don't be scary. Don't be scared that you will always lose time adapting to a new place. You will just learn it and it will be easier. Maybe for some people it's a little bit of a slower process, but still it will be a lot faster later on. Then I wanted to say a couple of things that I needed to learn. I needed to learn how to manage my finance. Moving to a new country every month could be quite expensive, because at least you need to have the money for your rent plus the flights or any type of transport. So you need to take it into consideration, and these sums can add up very, very easily. And this is the reason why I had to manage my finance wisely earlier than I planned to be honest. Because when I lived in one location, money has never been a problem, and I could spend money here and there. I could take on new hobbies, try lots of different things, and just don't really count my money. But when I started moving to different places, various currencies arose, and I just needed to be a lot more careful and to distribute money more wisely. And again, plan ahead. For example, if I plan 2 or 3 months of travel in advance, I'm prepaying for lots of stuff, and it also just forces me, and I'm glad that it forced me to learn self-finance earlier. The next thing is pretty obvious. It's that I can't do an office job anymore. I've traveled for 4 months, but I've sensed the freedom. I had this taste of freedom, and now I can't lock myself into 4 walls of an office or something like that and just work on site all the time. Now my only option, at least for the closest future, is to have a remote job and travel, or find a way. Like, I have to look for ways to earn money and make money remotely. I don't want to be pinned to one location, and it's just my fate, I guess. The other thing is that I regret not looking into Asia earlier, because I've lived in Europe and I've traveled to Europe specifically for my whole life, and I've never been interested in any Asian cultures deeply. I've never wanted to learn Chinese or Japanese or Korean or anything, and it's never been a case for me. I've never looked into these countries as a potential future base for me, or a place where I could move in the future. But now, after seeing those places as an adult, and after looking and realizing how much these countries develop, how fast they develop, I'm now considering moving to Asian countries as a future like settling point. So right now the world is so changing and moving, and yeah, it's just different every year. It feels like that. So I'm actually considering going to Asia. I've never thought of this before, but when I see it with my own eyes, it becomes an option, because the place is very, very high moving and changing and developing. So why not? Maybe it's not late, it's never late. But maybe I could just I think I just regret not learning any Asian languages, which are particularly hard for European speakers. I regret not doing it earlier. Next point is that my values are now a lot more clearer to me. After traveling a lot and after moving to different places and seeing how I function in different cities and countries, I now understand myself a lot better. For example, I know that physical comfort, is a lot more important to me than novelty. I wouldn't go to a city to live in a hostel or a dorm or something like that just for the sake of seeing the city. Maybe if it made my dream location, I would do that. But if it's just a new country, I would never choose it over living in a hotel or a flat apartment, something decent, in a city where I have to stay longer. So I value comfort more than novelty, but I value novelty more than stability. So it just helps me map out all of my values and make decisions based on the values that I wrote down for myself during my travels. So digital nomading and the frequent changes of location helps you to understand yourself a lot more and make wiser decisions that are based on your own values. Idea number 11 or something is that I don't know if I'm gonna integrate anywhere really. I've seen so many different cultures and they differ from my own culture so much that I may not be fully integrated anywhere, but at least I feel more like an international citizen right now after seeing so many different lives and talking to lots of people, absorbing various experiences. I feel more aligned with more people, but less likely to integrate into one certain society, because I've absorbed so much that I can't just become a person with a different mentality or something. I don't know. Next thing is that life of a digital nomad is not automatically interesting. It's not automatically interesting in a dialogue. People wouldn't say that you're cool just because you travel, and it's an important conclusion for me. Also, it's not interesting by like it doesn't create you content by itself. You need to find certain stories to tell. You need to learn the skill of storytelling, and you need to film, talk, write, and it doesn't happen naturally when you start traveling. It's still a job, and I'm learning to do it right now because my lifestyle is kind of entertaining, but I still need to show it from a certain angle for people to actually understand that. So, also another side of this point is that sometimes you shouldn't be telling people that you are a digital nomad, even though I feel very light and agile and flexible in terms of like relocation or moving to a certain place. I can go anywhere. Like if I get a job in a certain country and they want me to sometimes be on site and or just be in a certain location from time to time, I can move there. Most likely, I will like I will go to that country. I'm very flexible in that capacity, but I shouldn't be telling people that from day one in all circumstances. Sometimes people need context, and let's say in professional settings, people need to know that you are a responsible person first, and then after you prove this, you can tell that you're traveling and moving places and doing this kind of stuff. Because if you tell it as the first thing that you share, people could be a little like they could fall under some traps and like judge you by the stereotypes that you are not stable, not reliable. And yeah, it's just a thing I learned. I've never had any negative experiences with that. I just concluded that it's probably not the first thing that I should be sharing with my name. And yeah, no, not the first thing that I should be telling people. My last point of this video is very different from all the previous ones I've raised, and it's about loneliness. Because obviously, when you move a lot and you travel to new places, you don't necessarily have a friend in every city you go to. And my conclusion is that lonely moments, they happen, and you just need to learn how to go through them. They will happen, they will end. Sometimes you just need to have the grit to go through these moments, and some mechanics or methods to help you feel a little bit better. You need to call a friend who's maybe 10,000 kilometers away, but still they are your friend, they're a close person. You can call a family, anywhere, anyone like that. You need to have your methodologies that help you go through lonely moments, because obviously they are gonna happen. And it's also a skill. You will experience some negative moments, and you just need to cope and know how to manage your emotions. It's also lots of mental work, and yeah, it's a cool skill to have because you can apply it in different scenarios of your life, not necessarily in your personal life, but also in work, and it's just a great thing to know. So yeah, I think that was it. I love traveling. I recommend everybody to travel, and it's just, I know I'm privileged. I know that not everybody has a remote job that allows them to be in any place on the planet. So I'm just very grateful for having what I have and doing what I do and learning and doing it exactly in my 20s when I can absorb lots of knowledge and experiences. So yeah.